Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Hometrack Heroes on Seattle 11.
Welcome into night number 2 on the year here on Hometrack Heroes on Seattle 11. MACARONI Kids Night, NASCAR season opener number 2, powered by Pacific Power Batteries. I'm Caleb Hart. Benjamin Iman, welcome back to the show, sir. Welcome to your debut here in what is season number 7 of the program. Nice to have you here and ready for our season opener number 2.
Yeah, Caleb, I appreciate to be on in. Got a great lineup of classes today. Lots of different variety of different cars here, so excited to be back.
All right, we will kick things off. First appearance of the year for the Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornet Division. 7 cars making this a main event, and they take on one of our multiple courses we've got here at Evergreen Speedway. We put them on the 5th mile for some circle track action. Take a look at your starting lineup. It is Sophie Neal on the pole. That's the Airport Welding and Muffler, number 21, to her outside, Miles Hagan. He's the 28 out of Monroe, sponsored by Lindsay Hagan, Realtor. Road number 2 is Harley Jenkins, 5J out of Maltby, I'd Hit That Motorsports. And 15 is Lane Peters out of Eatonville.
Katrina Mahoney's out of Arlington in the 13, sponsored by Fast Eddie's Tire Pros. Starting next to the 4-car, Taylor Thompson out of Snohomish, sponsored by Weather Bright Roofing. And bringing up the rear in the 43, it's Mason Blahett out of Lake Stevens, sponsored by SNS Roofing.
Blahett's got a really interesting story here that I'm sure we'll have multiple times to hit on. We've got a youth Hornet driver here at Evergreen Speedway, but he's having a really interesting season doing a little traveling. We'll talk about that in a bit. As the green flag is out, 7 cars, they'll go 20-ish times around the inside. And always a bit of an adventure early in the season as the youth Hornets are 12 to 14-year-olds. Starting to get her all figured out, and a big shout out to Pilot 1 FPV, that's Tanner, running the inside drone for us. We'll get multiple looks in the drones and the in-cars, and everybody will get their shout outs, but kind of a look up close as to how fast these youth Hornets are really going around the 5th mile.
Yeah, I think sometimes it can be a little deceptive of how quickly they're going on track. You know, the 4-cylinder cars that look like they could have hypothetically rolled off the street and onto our course maybe seem a little bit slower from wherever your vantage point is, but they are rapid fast when they're racing. We'll go on board with the 15 of Lane Peters as he's hunting down the back of Miles Hagan. Ooh, a little bump out of turn 4, and we look into the side-by-side of the good battle behind them for 3rd.
Indeed, so that's your race on the right. On the left, you've already seen Mason Blahett working his way up 3 positions, so we'll give you a variety of different looks at it. You are spot on right there, Ben. Again, you get that drone shot, and you really do get more of a speed sensation as you get up close and personal with the cars and figure out how fast these young men and women are really rolling around. Some bumper love between Peters and Hagan. So we got a good battle for the lead, and here's Blahett already getting involved.
Trading some paint quickly, Blahett and Peters are. These two duked it out a little bit last year as they both made their way into the Youth Hornet division here at Evergreen Speedway. Taylor Thompson, the onboard car now, as she's battling with Katrina Mahoney. Looks like Mason Blahett taking only about 5 laps to go from the back, and now he's looking at Miles Hagan for the lead.
We gave him a bonus 5, so 25, your scheduled distance. The Brandy Hood Promotions in-car camera of Taylor Thompson. She only had about, 1,500 GoPros equipped up for this main event.
It's not enough.
Big thank you to Brandy. Yeah, I mean, she can use one or 2 more, right? Heads up. No, not quite the nice save out of Thompson. As you'll see, the 4 cars spun around. There's JD with the yellow flag in hand. And our first caution of the race. Now, thank you to our crack staff, our crack Seattle 11 filming crew. Got a couple extra looks at this, so let's go to the replay machine.
Let's take a look here. There you can see Peters, Mahoney, and Thompson just off screen into turn 3. Well, it just looks like a little loose coming around, and did a good job to keep it off that Uke tire. You can see the strip of kitty litter, the track dry that's down there from an incident in practice earlier. I wonder if that could have potentially disrupted the car there. Or maybe she looks like she went over the storm drain, too. That's also potentially down there.
I was going to say, I watched the car unload, and in that process, let's watch from Neal, as you can see them all going off into the kitty litter. And, the back end of that car bobbing, so you assume went through the storm drain, came back up, unloaded out of the suspension, and sent things all into chaos. Thompson around, and we'll have to get a restart.
Yeah, we'll rack and stack again. 7 laps down, Caleb. 18 here to go when we coming back to green here. And it'll be Mason Blahett who will be hunting Miles Hagan. It is single file restarts in the Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornets. And as we kind of get set, looks like we're shuffling the lineup still a little bit coming out of 3 and 4.
Trying to get them all together as we get the pace car off. And, well, your top 4 got a great start. Your back 3, probably wanting to do that one all over again, right?
Yeah, it looks like maybe 24 cars. Sophie Neal didn't quite get going there at speed, and I think that maybe might have bogged them up a little bit. But Lane Peters back to the inside of Mason Blodgett, getting the elbows out and getting back to him. But ooh, a crossover move here. Nice move by Blodgett back to the inside.
Mason makes the move and gets by. A lot of power in that machine as he's worked his way up into second position, now giving chase to Miles Hagan. Hagan in the 28 has led him all so far, and Miles Hagan taking a sharp turn to the right all of a sudden. Oops.
Looks like maybe problems for Hagan or just missed the turn, but he's on the 5-8 access road back to the pits, and Mason Blodgett, oh yeah, there he goes, slowly limping that car down pits. That's a tough break for Hagan. I believe this would be his debut here in the Youth Hornet division, so opportunity present, opportunity taken. Mason Blodgett, your race leader.
I may have a source in the Hagan pit area. I'll see if I can run down exactly what the heck happened, and maybe we can report on it before end of the race goes off, as now Mason Blodgett way out and in control, and you can see him running through the dust, really getting wide on that back straightaway to put some laps together. Peters in second, and Mahoney's sitting in the third spot at the halfway mark. We are going to be 13 in and 12 to go the next time underneath the flag stand.
Yeah, we go back on board Taylor Thompson. These Youth Hornet drivers, they will tend to sometimes treat this 5th mile almost like a tri-oval, as Thompson getting the bumper in there on Mahoney there a little bit. Mahoney able to keep the car underneath her. They'll sometimes treat it almost like a tri-oval, where they'll really diamond off that top section, carry a lot of momentum down into 3 and 4. Not able to necessarily get as high up there as potentially. We are set up for a fireworks show later on in the night for the race fans in the stands. So those blockades out there may be pushing drivers a little bit further down, because they'll go even higher than this sometimes. Thompson
now working to the inside on Mahoney, looking to recover from that spin out and pick up a top 3. I did get a little news out of the Hagan pit area, by the way. Apparently the "You're Very Naughty" flag was being pointed, not waved, at one of the drivers behind Miles, and he thought it was being shown at him and took the turn off the racetrack.
You know what? Derek Todorov did the same thing, Caleb.
First time it happens, you know what? Yep. I feel bad, but you know what? There's a lot of speed. There's good results coming for that car down the road.
Yeah, well, that car seemed fast. It unloaded quick, and if this is the debut and you're up front leading laps in the A main for this division, that's definitely speed in the driver and in the car. So tough break, but learning lesson.
That's right. We'll see you back out here for some more speed and hopefully trophies down the road. Speaking of trophies, out in front, Mason Blodgett looking really good. And Blodgett right now must feel like this thing is actually going slow for him, because his experience this year, he has been rolling around in a junior late model in California.
Yeah, that's right. Taking up the series down at Madera Speedway and running the junior late models down there. They got his first race under the belt, had a chance to talk to him and the family, and they're just super excited, racing against some very steep competition down there. I know Brexton Bush, Kyle Bush's son, is in that field, as well as a handful of others I'm sure I'm forgetting off the top of my head.
It's a program that's put out some pretty good racers over the last few years. There isn't always a huge abundance of car count, but it does get them used to a larger car, bigger horsepower, tighter racing conditions and speeds, and really makes it so when you come back to this 4-cylinder, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, Mason racing for the team that Jesse Love raced for, so definitely proven results out of that program. So we'll get to kind of follow along with Mason on his journey throughout this year. He told me what his plan is, or what he's hoping his plan is, the next step for him after this, and we'll let him share that as that comes out. But
he's a fun young man. It's a good family too. They're really a pleasure to be around in the pit areas on and off. So we've got a really good race for second going on here. Taylor Thompson rolling to the inside has finally found the room underneath Lane Peters. Peters gives the spot away, but Peters did a great job playing defense for a couple of laps. Thompson, patient and a good job coming back to the front, and well, so much for patience.
Well, there goes a full bumper cover removal. White flag is out, 1 to go. Lane Peters putting the bumping to run as they'll run back. This is the white flag lap for these drivers in the battle for second. There's Mason Blodgett coming off turn 4, looking to the black and white flag, checkered flag in the air for Blodgett.
He said sayonara to the rest of the field. Thompson bump and run. She ran after getting bumped. So Thompson second, Lane Peters in third will be how the first Nelson Motorsports Youth Hornet main event of the season finishes. And for Mason. Yeah, that experience obviously paying off early here, and some seat time up here at Evergreen Speedway in the Youth Hornets before it'll be time to do something else here very, very soon.
Yeah, great run for Mason. Kept the car underneath him, was battling for the lead, but once he got it, he didn't look back.
Saxon Hop has got our Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium interviews with the top three.
All right, Lane, nice start to your season. What more do you think you had to get to second place?
I definitely had to drive it way harder and try to keep off of hitting people, you know.
So when you're battling like that, how much fun are you having out there?
I'm having so much fun. It's so much fun to be out there and racing and just having fun.
All right, who do you think to get you out here?
My mom, my dad, all my family to come and help me out here.
All right, the 15, Lane Peters, third place tonight. All right, Tyler, you got a brand new Honda Prelude. Tell me, is that better than your old car?
So much better.
How much fun was it battling for second for so long?
It was hard, but it was a lot of fun.
Sponsors, who gets you out here?
Weatherite Roofing, LB Motorsports, my mom, my dad, Kurt and Dakota, and Perry.
All right, Taylor Thompson, second place tonight. All right, Mason, you are a junior late model pilot, and you're back here on Youth Hornets. Does that experience pay off when you go to Madeira?
Yes, it does.
How much fun was it to just go out there and have an 8-second lead over the field?
Oh, it was a ton of fun.
Sponsors, who gets you out here?
Well, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my new sponsors, S&S Roofing, Marysville Martial Arts, my mom, my dad, John Bender, JBR Racing, New American Funding, and Allied Motorsports.
Your winner tonight, the 43, Mason Blahett.
Well, congratulations to Mason as he rolls through, picks up trophy number 1 of the year here at Evergreen Speedway. Forward we go, All Ply Roofing, sponsor of the Legend Division here in 2026 at Evergreen Speedway and Hometrack Heroes. And your 23-car starting lineup looks like this. Chris Thompson is on the pole out of Snohomish. Weatherite Roofing Inc., the sponsor on the 10-car. Chad Sinner, welcome back. The 11C, the former Trek champion out of Monroe, sponsored by Mazda of Everett. Row number 2, Joe Decker, the 86 out of Duval. Joe's Tree and Timber on his car. And the 11 is Danny Arnold. He's out of Puyallup in the Northern Environmental Machine.
Josh Vlock returns in the 76C out of Edmonds, starting next to the 55 machine of Bella Luce out of Issaquah, sponsored by Orca Bin Wash. Jeremiah Johnson's out of Linwood in the 13, sponsored by Weatherite Roofing, starting next to the 68 of Kaylee Decker. She's out of Duval, sponsored by Clean Spot Car Wash.
Fifth row is Damian Harris, the youngster in the 20 car from Lake Stevens, sponsored by Flowmaster Gunners. His outside, the one of Mike Holden out of Snohomish, sponsored by Weatherite Roofing. Row number 6 is Braden Wagger, 30B car out of Camano Island, sponsored by Deer Cheap Sewer. His outside, it's the 20K of Andrew Reel from Corbett, sponsored by Sharp Transportation.
The 19 machine, Jaden Luce out of Issaquah, sponsored by Orca Binwash, starts next to the 42 of Chris Belanca out of Parkland, sponsored by Stadium Thriftway. Antonio Bianchi's in the 51A out of Langley, British Columbia, sponsored by Goodwin's Greenhouses. Starting next to the 21, Grayson Miller out of Puyallup, sponsored by Veterans Roofing.
Row behind them is Ian Humphreys, 53 out of Renton, the Masonator Racing car. 86X of Jeff Mueller, Lake Stevens, Thermotech powder coating on his car. It is the Weatherite Roofing Inc. 06 of Steve Potasic out of Kirkland, a legend here tonight. And to his outside, Davis Jacobson from Wilkeson, sponsored by Evergreen Concrete Cutting in the 15D.
Brian Grant's in the 29 out of Maltby, sponsored by Unknown Tattoo. Starting next to Adriana Camp in the 9 out of Monroe, sponsored by The Legal Umbrella. And Jeremy Allegri out of Arlington rings up the field. That is our starting lineup, Caleb. And they are let out lots of fast cars in this field, lots of drivers to keep your eye on out. Starting in that mid-pack, and excited to see what maybe the 06 can do in making the running the legend right now.
Some fascinating drivers and stories to follow along with this one as we're up and racing the All Ply Roofing Legends. Take their first green of the year here on Hometrack Heroes.
Yeah, the driver that I didn't mention that is the up front to start, the 11C of Chad Sinner, a 4-time track champion in this division. Took 2025 off. We didn't see him, and took part of 2024 off, only ran partially that year, making the comeback this year. And Caleb, I really shouldn't be talking because
wow. That's how she goes. The beautiful hand-painted numbers, by the way, on the 11 car.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's off into the green grass, and we'll get a caution as Apparently the 11 cars couldn't get along, is what I'm told. We'll see that here on the replay.
It's too early in the season, Caleb, for me to already be getting drivers like this. I'm sorry, Chad. Yep. Into Danny Arnold. The 11 cars tangled the green grass, looking so green because we have not let Don Fairley touch it yet this year. And,
here's the viewpoint that I wanted. We're going into turn number 1, and all right. One of those things that, depending on the angle, it was a lot easier to assign blame, and then from a second angle, you can go, well, 2 cars going for 1 spot, that's kind of a racing deal.
I believe this one would not be overturned by the NFL's replay review standards. Not sure if it's inconclusive. Inconclusive, thank you.
Yeah, going to be hard to cast judgment on that one. Let's go in car with Chad here. As you can see, he's coming down. He's going to be trying to fight to get underneath. And, hey, no, there's a race car there. His contact made off into the corner. We're going to take a commercial break. We're back with more as you guys are locked in here to Hometrack Heroes on Seattle 11. Coming back to action here on Hometrack Heroes on Seattle 11. 1 lap of 30 into our All-Fly Roofing Legends A main event. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Ben Iman. Chris Thompson, Joe Decker making it the front row in this double file restart. Off the corner, Ben, we are back to green flag action.
Yeah, we did get that first lap in, and so for the 11 cars, they'll go towards the rear with Sinner and Arnold, so they'll have to mount the comeback. And we're going 3 wide immediately. Josh Vlock to the inside of Decker and Thompson, and problems for Chad again. Chad Sinner around on the front stretch on the restart, and
we literally gave you like a 4-minute commercial break to think about your actions of laying the whammy on Sinner. And there you come back and start talking about the 11 cars again, and once again, Chad gets whammied.
Well, maybe I just won't refer to them the rest of the night. Wow.
Shame on you. I'm just saying, shame.
Yeah, well, Josh Vlock.
You'll get over it.
One of us will. Josh Vlock will gets a nice crossover move on Kaylee Decker, and we'll get to the lead to 76C. Come and repay. I wasn't talking about any one of those cars.
You're not. No, you're
that
right.
one ain't me.
You're free and in the clear on that one. Is we've got Braden Wagger's 30.
Jaden Luce, Chris Belanca. I think Grayson Miller's in it too.
Wow. All right. Well, as again, our awesome staff has got a look, and let's diagnose it via the wonders of TV technology and replay.
See, Belanca to the inside. Oop, looks like the 42 just got a little loose there. It may bottom out or something in the apex of that turn. And
these are such difficult cars.
Yeah, they're so squirrely.
They are so touchy, and they're on a big track comparatively. Yes, they'll run them on half miles, but this is a big, sweeping, fast 3/8, right? Handling them's tough, and you see when you're really, really good at it, you're really, really good at it, but even the really good ones like a Wagger are still going to get caught up in the wake because it's tough.
Here's
Loose again.
Oh, yeah.
Onto the turtles, and there we go. Loose manages not to end up in the inside wall. That'll help.
Here's the rear of Wagger, and
in, and just that love tap.
Looks like just snapped on him a little bit there, yeah.
Well, so be it. That's legend racing sometimes. Get them all reset in this one. It's been a very herky-jerky start, but we have seen both Deckers looking awfully good in this, and when we restart, we should see them up front.
Yeah, I had a chance to caught up with went down there, Peter. Caught up with Travis Woodward, mini stock driver, spotting for the Decker team, and he told me, he looked at me, pointed at both of them, and it went one if not both. You'll see him up at the end of the night. So all right. I'm holding Travis to it. We'll see. We'll have to see.
We'll see if he's got a little Nostradamus in him.
And we're going back to green. Race cars are driving into turn 1. I'm not going to refer to any one of them specifically until we maybe get going here for a little bit.
I'll take a shot at it. It's Vlock in the lead in the 76 as he's got Joe Decker sitting in there. And there's Kaylee working to the inside. Yes, relation. You've got father-daughter going on there as Kaylee's going to work up into position number 2. She'll make a bid for the lead going into turn number 1, but Vlock down low to close the door.
Yeah, a couple of new cars for the Decker Racing crew. It's a new legend this year for Kaylee, and it's a new legend for Joe. Obviously, Joe was involved in a gnarly wreck last year over in Wenatchee, so good to see him just back in a car, period. But a new car. We go on board with Antonio Bianchi in the 52A, our only Canadian driver in the field, making the trek south over the border to race here with some of the best at Evergreen Speedway. The battle for the lead rages on. Whoa, Mike Holden. That was a lot of sparks, and now you can see up into the Serengeti.
Yep, the grass is manicured up there, and we've got a bid for the lead. That's Kaylee Decker to the inside. Decker and Vlock wheel the wheel coming off the corner with Joe Decker lingering in position number 3. As somehow through that we stayed clean and green, and this pass, it may stick. You've got a new race leader, and it is Kaylee Decker.
Although Josh Vlock's looking to the inside for a crossover, gets cut off by Joe Decker taking the inside line. Vlock, no room to operate there, and I think we might go Decker 1-2. And is that Danny Arnold already making a big comeback bid up into third, Caleb?
Well, I'll continue on with that thought in just a second, but first we've got to thank All Ply Roofing, serving the greater Puget Sound region for over 20 years. They have you covered from Bellingham to Tacoma, North Bend to Bremerton. Call All Ply Roofing for a free estimate, or visit them at allplyroofing.com, your Puget Sound residential and commercial roofing team. Arnold did not get sent back. He restarted still outside row number 2 and was inside row number 3 on that second restart that we saw. So
there we go.
Sinner and Sinner alone who paid for his sins.
Oh, well, Danny Arnold. You know what? Is the 11 the new 13, Caleb?
Oh, boy.
Apologies to Chad and to Danny. That we tried our best to shake off the bad juju and the voodoo dolls and all of it this offseason, and clearly we just have not quite been able to do it.
You know, there does come an extent where we cannot be blamed for the actions of others. And let's see if, once again, this was you and I laying the whammy, or if this was just poor decision-making on somebody else's part.
Let's see, going to the inside of Joe Decker here, and might have just been 2 cars, 1 spot a little bit there, Caleb.
For the second time.
Yep, so.
I mean, 2's the start of a pattern.
Yep, that's fair. That's
tight
a big
racing.
one. Yeah, very tight between the 2 of them. Well, Danny Arnold, and we'll go on board with Braden Wagger. Look at this, really trying to hold that John Zaretsky line that so many of these drivers here running the Legend, dipping the tires down below that white line a little bit and into turn 1 and out of turn 2.
Wagger impressive as he is starting to pick his way back up and through the pack. You saw him involved in the previous spin out, so Braden is definitely making some progress. We're 9 in, we're 21 to go. Kaylee Decker sitting in the catbird seat right now. She has got the top spot, but there's a lot of talent in and around her. We'll see how she shakes her down as come off the corner, and Decker going to be under fire early as we're under green.
Yeah, in all of this, Caleb, the driver's going to jump into third right here. We haven't seen Andrew Reel from out of Corbett, Oregon, and you would have seen him last year, really strong in this Legend division and multiple race and feature wins in this division. Also ran a pro late model at the Mark Galloway Shootout, and sounds like the Reel brothers, Andrew and his brother Zach, will be returning to the Super Speedway in the West for that event again this year. But Andrew Reel already up into second. Antonio Bianchi up into third. Great run out of the 51A. Now Damian Harris is up into the top 3. This would be, I think, some career best finishes for our top 2 drivers right now.
In cockpit with Wagger, as you can see, a top 3 is getting real fun up there. And actually, so Bianchi sitting 4th. In 3rd is Reel. That's Damian Harris's 20 car that sits in position 2. As he's looking for a career best finish. Those 3 on a breakaway from the rest of the pack as we close ever so much more to the halfway mark. We're 12 in and 18 to go. Your top 3 running away.
Yeah, Braden Wagger got around Antonio Bianchi. Looks like Chris Belanca able to slip underneath him too as he got a little high there out of the exit of the turn. And Kaylee Decker looking to hold on. This is a strong competitors in your top 4 or 5 right now for sure. And it looks like Decker trying to make that car as wide as possible. Andrew Reel going to go underneath Damian Harris, and the 20 cars will trade position. And looks like problems in turn 1 as we're still racing right now. And Braden Wagger's caught the back of this top 3 pack.
So what can Wagger do now that he is up there and competing? They've got slower traffic that's going to be a factor before too long. Decker, Reel, and Harris now in that order. Reel is the more purple number 20, whereas Harris has got the blue with white outline 20 that sits in the 3rd spot. And Wagger, the dirt cheap sewer number 30, the former track champion himself, bidding for 3rd right now.
Not the former but current defending track champion as well. As he goes to the inside of Damian Harris trying to get up on the podium. Andrew Reel looking to hunt down Kaylee Decker. There's more problems in turns 1 and 2, and we'll see if this one will draw the caution, and yes, it will.
Danny Arnold the car around, and we'll get another look at it. At least one look.
We're halfway down, Caleb.
We made it.
We made it to 15 to go, Caleb. Let's take a look at Arnold here, and from the speed shot on the fence into a little telestrator action.
Yeah, see, and again, I asked for it at the end of last week and through it. We don't have the telestrator, which is what we need.
Yeah, you know what? Baby steps, Caleb.
Right.
Baby
Production gets the telestrator. You and I have to sit here and let them have the telestrator fun.
Sometimes we have to agree with the adult decisions.
Adult decisions.
Because the child in me would say, I want the
telestrator.
I want the telestrator.
Well, they are banging wheels a little bit down the back straightaway. Some gamesmanship going on as Kaylee Decker looking to bring home her first here at Evergreen Speedway. Andrew Reel, Damian Harris, and Braden Wagger tucked in around and behind her. As to green we go.
Side by side into turn 1 and 2. Wagger trying to maybe mount a charge on Harris on the outside. Blanca going to get his nose down the inside. As Andrew Reel might clear on that top side. No Decker. Big lunge down the inside and going to keep the car planted. Damian Harris, that outside line, bogs up for Reel, and Damian Harris reclaims second.
It was a really good run by Decker as we've got contact going into the corner. She was behind, almost to the point where Reel could have come down and tried to close the door, but front bumper was there long enough, and she made a really great surge into the corner. Look out, car around, it's Reel. And Reel's top 5 run will end.
Got Chris Blanca in there, too. A couple of really quick cars involved in that one.
Caution flag out. Let's take another look at it from the angles we have available to us. And yet again, it does not take much contact between these to get somebody sideways to the point of no recovery. Here's another angle from it going into the turn.
Yeah, looks like just a little stock up there. Bianchi, Wagger having to take evasive maneuver. Great. Jaden Luce, great evasive maneuver there to avoid a bigger stack up. Here's the onboard with Bianchi, and you can see cars and, whoa, slow cars. Looks like he may have ran into the back of Wagger there a little bit himself, trying to break up on this one. We'll go look at Jaden Luce now.
Made a good save, did Bianchi, as it stacks up really fast. You can see him and Wagger getting out of the way. Bianchi swimming the back end and bring it back together, this time from Wagger's point of view.
Big stack. You're going to have to dive out of that one. And, well, then we'll have to restart and try it again, Caleb. And a couple of fast cars now end up having their top 5 runs eliminated.
We're under halfway, or under halfway left, I should say, at this point in time, as there are 14 to go. And double file down the back straightaway. Decker again going to have to outrace Harris from the inside groove and see if she can hold that spot. Wagger sits in the 3rd position as drone shot brings us back to green coming off the corner.
Going to get this one rolling. Harris going to look to defend, but Braden Wagger, a great restart on the inside line. He's up into 2nd. Can Josh Vila capture? Chad Sinners reemerged as we got a car around again, and that was a big impact for these little cars.
Hard on that one, as might even have a little fluid down there in corner number 2. Couple of them involved. Is that Luce's 19 again that I see?
That is Luce's 19. I believe that's Adriana Camp in the 9. We'll take a look here. It looks like a little contact there on the restart with Bianchi, sent Luce around, and Adriana nowhere to go.
Now, just full face full of racetrack in front as we'll watch it once again into the corner. And, yep, there's the tap that got it started. And, right into the door.
Yeah.
Things have a lot of door bars in them, thankfully, so they're equipped to take a shot like that, but you never like to see it, as there's the in-car, Brandy Hood Promotions in-car from Bianchi. And Humphreys escapes. Chad Sinner had to do a little agricultural racing, but he figured it out.
Yeah, here's looking Camp, just, it's even worse from the GoPro shot.
I felt that from the studio.
Yeah, now we'll go with Jaden Luce's.
This is not going to be fun, and this is a yucky feeling. Just sitting out there in front of everybody with nowhere to go.
That's a tough break.
To the point where you saw the left front fender still bobbling as we go to commercial break. We'll finish off the All-Ply Roofing Legends after this here on Hometrack Heroes. Getting ready to head back to action here on Hometrack Heroes, All-Ply Roofing Legend Division, as it's seen some turbulence here in this main event. I'm Caleb Hart. He has Ben Iman, 9 laps left. Ben and Kaylee Decker looking to bring it home.
And we're going single file restart. Caleb, is no more restart blemishes is what we're hoping for as we go green off turn 4. Braden Wagger shooting to the inside immediately on Damian Harris, trying to close up for 2nd. We go on board with Ian Humphreys in the 53 machine. And the battle for 2nd right now, Wagger and Harris side by side looking to clear. I believe that's Bianchi and Vlock, your top 5, and Wagger does get the muscle out and clears for 2nd. Now we'll set his sights on Kaylee Decker, the battle for the lead. Damian Harris runs 3rd.
So the reigning champion moving his way up and into 2nd, has a little bit of gap between him And Decker to run down with 8 laps to go. In cockpit with Humphreys, who's putting a decent run together. He's kept his nose clean. That's been a big part of it, as not everybody's been able to do that yet.
Ian Humphreys, the reigning Rookie of the Year in the All-Ply Roofing INEX Legend Division, so good run for him to be up inside the top. I believe he's running 6th or 7th right now.
I believe you can never defend a Rookie of the Year title, right?
No, you cannot.
Unless you invent time travel.
Yeah.
For the lead on the left-hand side of your screen, Wagger is right up on the back of Decker, and Decker is leaving room off the bottom of turn number 2. Let's keep our eyes on it. We go in cockpit with Wagger now with 6 to go.
This is going to be a good battle at the end, Caleb. I can already tell right now, Kaylee Decker's been out front for so long, but here shooting, getting real low. That's the John Zaretsky line we talk about, sailing through Braden Wagger. He carried so much momentum and speed in turn 1 and 2. Kaylee Decker going to get to his rear bumper, give him a bit of a love tap here, trying to unsettle the 30, be unable to off the corner, 4 to go.
Wagger uses that line to pass. He'll bring it up a little bit higher now coming into the corner, as there is a vast difference between a passing line and a racing line. And you can see Wagger stretching it down the back straightaway. He's got a car length now as Decker goes into scramble mode to try to figure out, okay, what I was doing doesn't work. Now I got to catch him again and figure it out. Central Welding Supplies, family-owned service, hasn't changed since 1975. Proud sponsor of Evergreen Speedway for over 25 years. Central Welding Supply's outstanding customer service is the industry leader in gases, welding, safety supplies for the industry and life. Central Welding Supply, 30 locations in Washington, Oregon, and Alaska. Find your closest store at centralwelding.com.
Kaylee Decker has been hunting, looking high, looking low, looking for any way to get this car in deep. She dives really deep into turn 3 there, Caleb, trying to keep the car planted, staying with Braden Wagger. It will be white flag, 1 to go. Has not been able to find the line. Here we go into 1 and 2.
Question is, does she use the chrome horn at all? And she is right there, close enough to do it. There's the bump out of the corner. She'll sling it up at the top. Wagger is unfazed, hits the loud pedal off of 4, and the reigning champ back in victory lane here on night number 1 for the All-Ply Roofing Legends.
Yeah, Braden Wagger, a great run to start. Had to come from the rear of the field, Caleb, and drive all the way back to the front after he was involved in an incident. Kaylee Decker, career best, I believe, 2nd place finish for here at the Super Speedway of the West in 68. Damian Harris, career best finish for him, finishes 3rd in the 20. It's an Evergreen homegrown podium.
I think if you added the combined age of these 3 drivers, it would be about 21 years old.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. That's very, very young podium. And let's go down and talk to your top 3 Angel of the Winds Casino Resort podium.
Braden, we talked pre-race, and you said, last year a championship felt great, and it felt great to finally be able to call yourself a champion, but you're putting it out of your mind, and you're like, it's a new year, and I have to come back and do it all again. And you talked about you wanted to represent that the people from right here at Evergreen can home this track and race it. And quite a drive. You had to come from the back a couple of times, involved in some incident, but you complete the comeback, and you're up on the top step winning opening night. How good does that feel?
It's amazing. Originally we had that 14-car Inver. I was starting 11th. I was a little worried about how far back I was starting, and then I ended up in the back, and I just hoping to capitalize some points there. And, I got up there really, really quick, and I just saw a chance, so I started running some pretty good laps, and any chance I had a hole, I just had to take it.
You and Kaylee both incredibly quick at the front. It took a couple of laps. We side up. You got that really low lane. We talk about how much you guys love to hang that low lane in 1 and 2. Talk about what is about it that when you can get down there and get the car to rotate.
I feel like my car's the only one that can really hold like an extra half length lower in that corner, and it helps. I only got to go that half car length more just to get there, and you pretty much, lots of legend drivers use it. You carry momentum, drop the inside, and it's a really great passing lane.
Obviously, you can't do this on your own. Who helps you get out here?
For Chisca & Colin King, Dirt Cheap Sewers, Blue Collar LLC, STR Plumbing, Nexus Fab, Pacific Street Rods, Purcell, Central Welding Supply, my mom, my dad, Joe's Racing Products, Elevate Race Media, all my fans, and everyone that came out to help me.
All right, let's make some noise, Evergreen Speedway. The champ is back in victory lane, Braden Wagger. Kaylee, you and Braden scrapping there at the end. Obviously, you're leading on the restart. You just needed a little bit more to get to him in turn 3. What more do you think you needed to get the car to hang in there?
I'm just going to adjust the car a little bit. We'll try and get it next time. I've raced with Braden my whole life, so, he's a great racer, and good job to him.
I talked with someone helping you out, Travis Woodward, and he made the commitment that I was going to see one of you or your dad on this podium tonight. Here you are, second place. How does it feel to open the season up on the podium?
Oh, it feels amazing. I mean, it was a great way to start the season.
And who helps you get the car out here?
Of course, I'd like to thank my dad, my mom, my sister, my grandma and grandpa Decker, Jeremiah, my grandma and grandpa McCoy. I'd like to thank all my sponsors, Clean Spot Car Wash, TDC Automotive, FS Auto Works, Brad and Selena Smith, Louis Maine, Angela Pioli, Buddy and Eve Buck, Duval TV, R&V Productions, Central Welding Supply, and of course the whole LB Motorsports team.
All right, let's give it up. I bet you this will not be the last time you see her up here this year. Kaylee Decker, second place. Damien, I've seen you here shaking the car out during practice times. So the first time we saw this many cars, obviously on track one year, you were hanging around, kind of a hectic race at times, a lot of caution, a lot of carnage, but you survived, hang on to third.
Well, it was a pretty tough race, battling out, getting lucky from all the wrecks happening, but I was just lucky to stay on the bottom and not get hooked up in wrecks.
That car was fast. What more do you think you needed to try to catch Kaylee and Braden in front of you?
My car was a little bit loose going into the corner, so I couldn't really push it as hard.
And who helps you get that car out here every week?
Flowmaster Gutters, Lena and Frank Coleman, HarrisTeam.com/Windermere, Eddie Resells, and Ricky Arnold.
All right, third place up on the podium, driver of the 20, Damian Harris.
Well, it's great to hear from Braden Wagger as well as the rest of the top 3 for the iNext Legend Division. And we will move on with the rest of the night now, going to the intersection and the 8 for the first time tonight with the V8 cars. It's the Monroe Grocery Outlet Super Stock Figure 8s for the first time in 2026. They are led out tonight by the number 8 car, Captain Chaos. Jacob Funk is out at Mill Creek and sponsored by Misfit Motorsports. Starting next to the 025 machine of Trent Gillespie, sponsored by SRP Transport. Hunter Jenkins in the 85 starts behind Funk in the Hit That Motorsports car next to the 35. Brian Cottrell in the Rev Up Energy machine.
Third row is Jeff Talbert, 47 out of Arlington, sponsored by Pilchuck Heating. The 01 is Doug Delfeld, PCI sponsored machine. Row behind them, Mackenzie Reppin. That's right, the former Mackenzie Neats out of Monroe. BECU sponsors her. Rick Yargis is in the 43 tonight, substituting. He's out of Stanwood. He's sponsored by Pit Innovations.
Guy Litz is in the 88 out of Seattle, sponsored by Protocol Plumbing. Starting next to the 5 car, the 1 Arm Bandit, Quentin Borison out of Aberdeen in the Mary's Towing Machine. Row number 6 sees the Cowboy, John Carlson, back for more in this division in the 36 tonight out of Monroe, sponsored by Rev Up Energy. Starting next to the 45, filling in for Chevy tonight, it is Dynamite, Dawson Cox out of Arlington, sponsored by Auntie M's Dog Spa.
Final 3 starters, Skylar Cruz is the 20. He's out of Covington. Big Truck Service out of Fife sponsors him. The Baymaster Garage number 78 from Snohomish is Jeff Anderson. And the Seattle Trailer Rentals 76S is Chris Southard out of Everett. Good looking field. Lots of talent, a lot of good race cars, and the debut of the Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock Figure 8s here in 2026 on Hometrack Heroes.
Yeah, it's going to be a good race. There's a lot more cars coming into this division again this year. So we've had a handful of rookie signups so far and returners returning to the classes. We're going green flag off around the Tire Cove, and it's Trent Gillespie jumping out to an early lead, followed by Cottrell and then Funk and Devin Jenkins in what I'm pretty sure is an old bomber that's now been converted into this. And oh, we got carnage already.
Yeehaw! Talbert around in the 47, Litz in the 88, and a bumper full of Cowboy Carlson to go with it. Blinky yellow lights are on, and we will get a complete restart.
Race car fans or race car drivers are not fans of blinky yellow lights, Caleb.
As long as you're not involved,
That's true.
that can be an okay thing.
Or leading.
A look from Tanner's Pilot 1 FPV drone. And in through the corner, and yeah, that sharp turn to the outside on, I want to say it was Yargis.
Yeah, it was the Sheridan Vincent machine being piloted by Yargis tonight.
Oh, and you can
Got a
see it,
little squirrely.
yeah. It was sideways to begin with,
Just-
that was the correction.
Unfortunately cleaned Talbert out, and then cars behind them get involved. Dawson Cox were on board now here with no contact maybe from Morrison there, got him loose, and then Litz and I believe Carlson involved in that, so let's go on board with Yargis.
Yep.
and turn it.
Exact definition of a chain reaction,
Oh,
right?
yeah, that snap from the bump, just going left, just claiming, and Yargis drives away. We go on board. We don't call him the one-arm bandit for nothing. Quentin Borison, and yep, just
through.
Yeah, mosey on.
Okay, now from Carlson's point of view, in there right up against the back, and nowhere to go. And wedges that front bumper up underneath for just long enough, so good looks at the caution flag, and another chance to get these guys set back out. Restarted once again. It was Trent Gillespie. Really good start. First time we've seen him in a full-size car. He's kind of been a four-cylinder specialist, and now bringing out the super stock figure 8 to come compete with us.
And no laps completed, Derek. Wow, that was bad.
Oh,
wow.
Do I look like a turtle? Come on.
You do not look like a speedy turtle at all.
Thank you.
Caleb, no laps completed, so we'll do a full restart here. And Trent Gillespie, another great start here, and we get rolling now. Can everyone make it through this turn safely this time? So far, yes.
Don't jinx them. There's still cars in the back.
I'm sorry.
We got it. So race leader Trent Gillespie out in front is battle for third. That is Delfell. They call him the Grizz. He is decades and decades of experience in the 01 and currently sitting in the third spot. Chasing Cottrell, who's had a wide and varied career himself, in the second position in the 35.
Yeah, that's the 35. Teammate cars with the 36, both owned by Bill Fleischacker. Currently running tonight. Cottrell hopping behind the wheel, and a couple of cars trying to make their way forward. Some of our faster cars, so we've seen typically towards the front of the field, towards the rear, having to restart there with the invert. And Delfell looking at the inside of Cottrell there. We see the outside of Cottrell, but nothing there. And now more bumper shoving. So unlike our circle track divisions, the bumper is encouraged in figure 8 driving. Not too much. You can't just go fully driving through cars. That does not look like that's some monster trucking.
No, you're not supposed to get that kind of airtime. Even though it was very, very modest. Top 4 was fine. Everybody else, problems in the back. We'll see how they sort out. It's from the rear deck lid shot backwards on your race leader, Trent Gillespie. You're the 025 as there goes Gillespie. Big ol' spin through the intersection.
Yeah, well, second time we've lost the leader from a race, maybe unintentionally. It was in the Youth Hornet division earlier, and now it's in the Superstock figure 8s with that spin, and Cottrell and Delfell getting into it, which means we're going to slide on through. I'm not sure who the leader is. Oh, that's problems for Delfell. That tire is definitely not pointed the right direction, Caleb.
I thought I saw him clip the Uke tire and probably bust the spindle. Explains why I think, that thing is all cattywampus. So, Brian Cottrell, who had faded back to third after Delfell had kind of taken the lead, kind of not, is back to the lead. It's Cottrell, Talbert, who got all sideways on the first run, and Jacob Funk sitting in position number 3, and we're only 7 laps into this.
No, it's not that we're only. Jacob Funk
we
sitting
are
in position
7
3,
laps,
7 laps into this.
Jacob's like, come on, is it over?
Yeah, the Captain Chaos giving us a great run. Although he's got a lot to handle behind him. Quentin Borson all over the back of the captain, and Quentin's pushing him up about half a groove there, and now we'll pull alongside the moving traffic cone that's on the back of that car. That's not him, that's what's on the car.
Borson started 10th up to 4th. Here's Cox, who started 6th, now up to 5th. Maybe 4th. We'll find out through this corner as he works on Funk. Yeah, 4th and now looking for 3rd. Dawson Cox on the move and sneaks it in before the Uke tire.
Yeah, big bottom out, but Dawson driving the car hard, going to get to the inside of Funk. That's not where Jacob wants to be through that set of turns, but we'll have the inside line coming back. Cox up into 4th, and right now, still the lead. They've caught the back of some of the lap traffic. Skylar Cruz now. We'll see if Mackenzie Reppin can make her way past Jacob Funk. We are keeping a jar for how many times we get that name wrong tonight.
And Mackenzie just took a shot to the shorts. Or actually, no, I don't know those. Mackenzie, that might have been Yargis who just got hit by Litz. As getting wide as Dawson, but trying to keep his speed up.
And trying to give you a little preview of DriftCon this upcoming weekend at the Speedway if you're in person or when you're watching this. You will miss it.
Drifting is wonderful, but that's not what we're doing. Is look out. The 47 of Talbert had to jam on the brakes, and we still end up with one around. That's Cottrell. Just been a comedy of errors over the last couple of laps, and you can see the left front all kinds of screwed up on the Talbert car.
Yeah,
as we're going to get a caution flag.
There was a lot of bright colors from the Talbert car when that car made contact with Cottrell here too. We're looking here to the inside and contact, into the U for sure, and yeah, there it all is. again, that tire definitely not in the right spot. And then Dietz and Cowboy, big stack up there. Funk and Litz and Gillespie, everyone having the dodge.
Just kind of got to get your tires pointed the right direction, come forward. And here you could almost see this coming from this angle. As Cottrell was saying, you're not going to get any room. And, well, Talbot had to make a little space. That's what ended up sending Cottrell around. There still wasn't enough as killed the left front spindle on the 47 Talbot.
Yeah, that's just a tough break for Jeff. We'll go back on board with Quentin and race cars. That's probably not a very comfortable ride. Yeah, a lot of carnage there with the onboard with the Mary's Towing number 5. Now here's the onboard of Cowboy Carlson as he gets into the back of Reppin. Nowhere to go for either of those drivers.
Manages to get outside to avoid any more damage. As here's Yargis's point of view. Relatively clean for Rick around the corner until Quentin flashes out at the very last moment.
And Reppin probably got the biggest shot of having to get through there with multiple cars driving on through the back.
But again, manages to get through with minimal error. All right, well, let's catch our breath. We'll take a timeout, come back, more Super Stock Figure 8 main event here on Hometrack Heroes. Well, as expected, it's been physical here in the Monroe Grocery Outlet Superstock Figure 8 main event. We have a new race leader after the incident before commercial. Quentin Borison now out in front of the 5 car. He's Ben Iman. I'm Caleb Hart. Glad to have you guys with us here on Hometrack Heroes once again on a beautiful Sunday night on Seattle 11. Borison leads, and then it is Dawson Cox piloting one of the Vincent cars in second. And Mackenzie Reppin in the 67, sitting in third as we get ready with the Delaware-style restart to come back to green.
Yeah, Quentin Borison will have full control of this thing as we come back to JD in the flag stand. Green flag in the air, and a good getaway for Borison. Closes it off. Cox quickly gets that inside. Gonna look to shoot the gap. Gets the rear out. Uses a little bit of a defensive maneuver and gonna push Reppin back into third. Here comes Yargis in the Sheridan Vincent machine, trying to move his way forward. And the 2 Vincent cars, sub-drivers tonight, and we'll see them back out next time Superstocks are in action. But, a little physical getting there with 18 to go. Cox looking to the outside of Quentin Borison.
Ooh, and leaning on him, too.
Yeah, wow.
You know, contact was initiated. It's hard to say who, when, and why, but now Cox has worked himself to the preferred inside line, coming through the corner, and Dawson Cox, new race leader before the halfway point.
Yeah, Dawson got a little physical, but made the move stick on board with Rick Yargis now. Made the move stick, got to the lead, and is going to enjoy clean air, and the carnage has already started to ensue. We've lost a couple of cars so far. It's, you know, the intersection's going to get hot, but he's going to have some more time to be able to be a bit more patient with it. And as we settle in here, and right now pulling away a tad bit from Borison and Reppin, I wonder if maybe some of that wheel bang might have affected how that car's turning for Quentin Borison.
You said the intersection is going to get hot. It has been relatively tame so far, and I would not have called that for like about a 15-car starting grid that we had here in this class. It has been awfully quiet so far.
And I mean you can chalk that up to
couple of laps in caution,
Exactly.
Yeah.
We haven't really had a chance to really string them out, and losing a couple of cars here early to that is obviously going to delay that effect here. But right now, settling in a much bigger gap has emerged from Cox to Borison. Although Mackenzie Reppin all over the back bumper of Quentin Borison here. A new wrap for the reigning champ, the 67 of Mackenzie Reppin, and the chrome really popping in person a little bit. It shows off decently well here on the TV camera.
Meanwhile, the Mary's Towing 5 is consistent in his scheme. You always kind of know which one that one's going to be. It's going to be the Columbia blue with red, so easy to identify.
But it's a great looking scheme. If it's iconic, why change it?
Exactly. I mean, you always know. All right, there's 5. There's Q. Easy spot. As we'll go in cockpit once again with Quentin, and we say the one-arm bandit. If you're new to Hometrack Heroes, it's true. He's racing there with one arm, as you can see, left hand up on that old-school tinned-off steering wheel. Helps him not thread his fingers in between, create finger injuries. Also gives him a little bit of grip on the back of the wheel as well, if he can get his hand curl all the way around the diameter of the tube there. So it's an old-school design. You see him a lot. Don't see him so much anymore, but Quentin Borison's still using that style steering wheel in his car as he continues to try to chase down Dawson Cox, who's looking really good out front, and that battle in behind him was getting a little hot for a second.
Yeah, starting to kind of really pick up here. Reppin having to play some defense. I believe that's Jeff Anderson, and then Ricky Yargis is back there. Jacob Funk all right there. Guy Litz. A couple of cars we'll see under Mac there, and it's hard to play offense when you have to play a little bit of defense.
Mackenzie's now caught back up to Boris and says, defense is no fun. Let's go forward and we'll see what she can do. As Cox, now that intersection just getting busy enough. We'll see how he chooses to navigate it going forward. McGraw Grocery Outlet is your locally owned neighborhood grocery store. They offer name brand products, fresh produce, organics, wine, and more at 40 to 70% less than traditional grocery stores. See Terry and Linda at the Monroe Grocery Outlet. Monroe Grocery Outlet, the proud sponsor of our NASCAR Superstock Figure 8 division.
Appreciate Terry's out here every week, and Linda joined him and helps out with the t-shirt cannon in the grandstand.
Nice.
Yeah,
we need to figure out how they can box up some of their awesome breakfast cereals that they sell at 40 to 70% less than everybody else and shoot the breakfast cereals out of the t-shirt cannon.
Now we're thinking, Caleb.
It's a Lucky Charm cannon. You'll never get to be Lucky Charms until you blast them in the face with them.
Now we're thinking. Now we're thinking with our noggins is all I have to say.
I'm telling you, I'm warmed up this year for Hometrack Heroes. I got my thinking brain on early.
Oh, man.
Dawson Cox has got his winning brain on early as long as he can continue to navigate the intersection just right.
And Dawson's been able to kind of teeter. You can see he's built up a large gap back to Morrison. When he gets to the intersection, if he chooses, that gives him he's got a full straightaway kind of a gap here. So that allows him to choose. If he needs to hold up for a minute, not immediately shoot the gap, he can. He's got some space to play with. Whereas Quentin Morrison's kind of in a spot when he comes out that corner, he's got to go for it with Reppin all over his back bumper.
Got a couple of looks from Reppin as she's got the multiple Brandy Hood Promotion GoPro views going on. First from straight on, like where we are right now, and then you have the cockpit shot that you saw a couple of times. Always admire how clean the cockpit is on the Reppin cars. Jake and Mackenzie and the crew do a very good job making those cars easy to get the switches and the gauges when you need to.
And Jake, your 2025 crew chief of the year out here at the Super Speedway of the West.
Well earned. As intersection just busy enough in front of him that Borison having to navigate it. It's given Reppin an opportunity or two. As, the Elevate Racing Media drone shot. David gives us the drone look, and it's of Litz driving through Yargis.
Yeah, contact further back in the field. That was a battle for position. That was battle for fourth. White flag is out because there's the leader, and Yargis is just kind of stalled out, has not been able to get the car going. That's definitely going to affect this battle for second between Reppin and Morrison.
Brutal run of luck there for Yargis, who's having a really good race. Really good race in the books now. Dawson Cox collecting trophies here on season opening night number 2. Takes the wide berth around the corner, puts a little smoke down. Borison and everybody also getting wide up and around Yargis, who is an interesting obstacle sitting where he is, as the checkered flag will come out, and this one is done.
Yeah, the Guy Litz comes home fourth. Jacob Funk, Captain Chaos, top 5.
Nice.
Dynamite, Dawson Cox returning to victory lane here in the Superstock Figure 8 division.
All right, we will head down. It's time for winners' interviews on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort Podium.
All right, champ. One heck of a way to start off the season, third place. What more do you think it would got to take to get around Borison?
I tried to, and then I got almost put into a Uke tire, so I figured that was the safe bet, just to stay behind him. I'm not trying to wreck the car in the first night, but I know he usually drives clean. So, I just needed more patience and for the north to not be all wet.
So when we have a 15-car field out there, do you enjoy it when there's more cars on the racetrack?
Absolutely.
All right, who helps to get you out here?
Just my family, my mom, my dad, my husband, my crew, just all the hours that they put in. BECU Buzzin' Steakhouse, Pedal Down Bike Shop, Patrick Gonski, my uncle, Reppin' Welding and Rail, Race Cals, Joe's Speed Shop, Brandy Hood Promotion, Turn 1, and Elevate Media for all the support this year. Thank you, guys.
All right, third place tonight, the champ.
And thank you all for coming out. This is a pretty amazing, for lack of a better word, crowd. So thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it.
Mackenzie Reppin, third place tonight. All right, Quentin. Same thing as Mackenzie. You had a great car all night long. What's it like to have a great battle with such a respectable driver?
It's just going out there and just having as much fun as I possibly can. The car was really, really good. Unfortunately, when the 2 leaders wrecked, I kind of drove into it, and even though I was technically not involved, which is why I got the lead, it messed up the front end a little bit. I'd have liked to have raced Dawson a little harder.
So I'm going to ask you that. When you have some damage, does that affect you as a driver, and does that affect the car at all?
No, it doesn't affect me, but it certainly affects how the car handles. Yeah, it was unfortunate because I think that would have been a really good battle, but I still think Dawson probably would have got it because that kid's just phenomenal.
All right, sponsors, who gets you out here?
Mary's Towing, Mary's Wreck Auto Parts. Mary, man, she makes everything happen. Keith Taylor, my crew chief, and all the help I get, from all the people. And then Chris Palmer, we lost Chris Palmer, Mary's husband. This race is dedicated to him. And also Olympia Pizza House and Monroe Motel.
All right, the one-arm men, second place tonight, Quentin Borson. Oh, you got it, buddy. All right, Dawson, it didn't take you long to get your first win out of the way. Man, that 45 car, tell me, what's it like driving that thing for Chevy?
I've raced a lot of cars at this track, a lot of different classes, and for some reason, that car is by far my favorite to drive, leagues above everything else. I'm not really sure why. There's nothing special. It's just everything's in the right spot, and it is just so fun to drive. I mean, you kind of get there, and you get a little too messed up, a little too crossed up, it just comes right back to you, and so forgiving. Huge shout out to the whole Sheridan family for letting me drive it this weekend. They're going on a cruise, so congratulations. That's awesome. Gave me a shot here. I didn't hit a Uke tire this time. That was my track record. I raced like 7 of these races and hit 6 Uke tires. Not a good year. But we started off a lot stronger, so hopefully Chevy can keep the momentum going forward. And I got a couple sponsors I got to thank. We got Pit Innovations, Siskin Powered Equipment, NAM's Dog Spa, and Pit Innovations. We couldn't do it without you guys. You guys rule.
The number 45, the wheelman himself, Dawson Cox!
Saxon's getting awfully aggressive with the hand movement down there in Victory Lane. We're going to have to teach him on that one. Pointing and, fist bumping. He's a do. We'll learn him.
Yeah.
Forward we go. It is time for some mini stock action. This one, just a gut feel. I think we got a banger on our hands, Ben. What do you think?
I just know it's going to be good. Anytime these cars roll out, the racing is always good.
It's a stacked field. BECU, once again, our division sponsor. A big thank you to them. As Clint McCowan's on the front row out of Monroe, the Metal Tech number 29. Keegan Mooney from Bellevue, the Liqui number 11. Second row, Scarlett Fisher out of Marysville, Snow Valley Farms in the 19, making her mini-stock debut. And Jimmy Absher, the wild man out of Marysville, NPM Welding and Fabrication car number 26, starts fourth.
Matt Snyder pilots the 15, moving up from the Hornet division out of Snohomish, the Snyder family racing machine. Starts next to the 18 of Paisley Bender out of Snohomish, sponsored by Allied Motorsports. Justin Brave is on row number 4 out of Monroe, the out of the Craigs Roads race shop in the 21J. Starting next to the 97 machine, Zach Bristol, the out of Snohomish, sponsored by Racers Against Child Abuse.
How about row number 5, the defending champion Cole Reardon running number 1. The champion runs number 1. I love that out of Cole. He's from Granite Falls, Bob T. Builder sponsor on it, and the very fast Lyndon Smith to his outside out of Everett, sponsored by PRCBD Car 221. Row behind them, Ashley Rasmussen out of Eatonville, A&J Custom Metals in the 92, and Jacob Szymanski, the 5 car out of Sammamish.
Your final row is a rookie in the 23 of Alexis Tubbs out of Monroe, sponsored by DL Enterprises, and Ronnie Absher in the 72 out of Federal Way, the United States Seafood Machine.
I love this. Look at all the Hornet move-ups. That's exactly what it's supposed to be in Fisher and in Snyder and in Tubbs.
Szymanski.
Those drivers all coming up to field mini stocks, and there's yet even more that did not make the call here tonight. This is a big division this year and should be great. They're coming off of the corner, and we are green.
It's a tentative start for all these drivers as they fan out. Clint McCowan going to look to lead into turn 1, but Keegan Mooney, a lot of speed there jumping to the outside. Here comes the 26. Here comes the 97. Zach Bristol, that Scirocco, taking off like a rocket ship going to the inside. Might make it 3 wide. No, has to back out of it with McCown. So Jimmy Absher up into second, and Zach Bristol all over the back bumper of it.
Boy, it's going to take me a minute to get used to the new Jimmy Absher look. Normally that car looks more like, with the way they do the decklet and the bed, looks more like a truck. Now this year it kind of looks like a mini stock once again. It is Absher leading in the 26 and for second, whipping his way around the outside. Bristol trying to hold low down there, but boy, the speed out of the, I'm trying to pick up the number. Is that
It's
the
a 15.
15?
Matt Snyder.
That's Matt Snyder. Wow, look at him.
Yeah, don't know where he came from. That is the old Bobby Fischer car. Got that
Okay.
off Bobby. Scarlett Fisher's car is a new build Honda. So Matt's moving into Bobby's old car. So we've seen how fast that car was. It was in a championship battle 2 years ago. It won main events last year. So Matt's hopping into a real rapid, fast race car. Talk about also quick race cars. Lyndon Smith is 221. This is a new build car. So the veterans all building new cars. The rookies moving this division. Mini stocks might have the best show this year. Knock on wood, we will see.
You remember that Smith's year ended with him in the front straightaway wall, and it was him and the 26 of Jimmy Absher who were a part of that. Let's see if either of them are like elephants so they don't forget, or if it's in the past, as they're wheel to wheel and side by side down the front straightaway right now.
Yeah, Lyndon trying to make the outside work here. Matt, look how far Matt Snyder has opened up a gap in his rookie race here for the mini stock division. Way out there to start, and Lyndon Smith able to make that high line work, and he'll come down and clear Jimmy Absher. Zach Bristol looking to maybe follow suit. That Scirocco, normally a long run speed car, has looked real racy here in a short sprint.
And you don't see that car up and around the outside a whole lot. He typically hangs bottom groove, but right now he's pedaling it through the middle and really making it work as Bristol. That's a good battle for third between him and Absher.
Yeah, a big gap here. Justin Brave, the end of that 5-car group up front, but right now a little crossover move. Bristol to the inside, going to hang with Absher. Hold side by side into 3 and 4. We haven't seen much Cole Raren, hung up further back in the field right now, but Bristol clears Absher up into third. Justin Brave sticking his nose into the battle. It's a couple of Volkswagens and a Honda.
Wow, it has been a fantastic race here early, and still a long ways to go as we're 8 in, 22 left. There goes Brave to the inside, making the in move. We got to take a time out, Ben. We're coming back. We will have more from the BECU mini stock main event next here on Hometrack Heroes on Seattle 11. Still in action here with the BECU mini stocks and Hometrack Heroes on Seattle 11. He's Ben Hyman, I'm Caleb Hart. Good racing in this one, Ben. Matt Snyder out of the picture at the moment in the lead. We got a quick car turned around right out of the break. Keegan Mooney says, hello, turn 2. Like a better view of you.
Oh!
Look out, that's your leader.
That is the leader. Matt Snyder running to the front of Keegan Mooney there. As Mooney was around in turn 2. We're going to have to take a look at this one again, Caleb, but that's a tough break. Mooney got loose and spun in turn 2, and Matt Snyder might have shoved the nose in on that one.
All right, let's take a look and see how it happened, what went down. As there's Mooney around, and okay, so he's around, and it is...
Caution lights are on, I think. Yeah, right there.
It is 7 seconds. I timed it in my head between when he went around and Snyder ran into him.
Wow. On board with Paisley Bender alongside.
He's already going.
Is it just a thing with 11 cars today?
It could very well be. Don't be ripping on my favorite number.
He's a great Denny Hamlin fan here.
All right, so there's Fisher in the back of it. Scarlett gets out of the way. Here's the look from the Mooney car into the turn, and the back end starts coming around. You saw that. Just count in your head. 2,
caution lights are on.
3, 4, 5, 6. Bang.
Ugh. And definitely saw some fluid hop up there, so some radiator damage on one of the two there.
Wow, tough for Matt Snyder. That was out. He was cruising in this one, and for Mooney, around, not much you can be able to do there. It's going to throw a wrench in the equation here at the front, although Snyder's going to hold his spot.
Yeah, so word from race control I'm getting, Caleb. He involved after the caution had flew. So they're going to let him keep his spot. So the 221, Lyndon Smith will restart on the outside. Zach Bristol and Justin Brave, row 2. And then looks back, row number 3, Jimmy Absher. And hey, for the first time I feel like we're saying his name tonight, Cole Raren will restart 6.
All right, we'll see what Cole can end up doing, as it is going to be Snyder and Smith 1 and 2. That battle for third will now be a side-by-side battle coming off the corner here on the restart between Bristol and Brave. So we're back to action. Green is out.
Oh, great jump for the outside line, although Matt Snyder, that car, a rocket ship in a straight line. How's it going to be affected, though, now? With the front end of that nose pushed and...
Bye-bye, Hood.
Whoa.
Hello.
Someone's hood just went flying.
And
is that Matt Snyder?
Matt Snyder, yeah. Hood said, you know, here's the easy way to lose weight on the race car and make it faster during the race. Hood pins be darned. Fly in hoods in a bar.
Depending where that landed, we might not be able to keep going here. that's gonna be a question. Caution.
Yellow.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so that was wild. Let's take a look again. It's right in the middle of the racetrack coming off. And, interesting turn of events. Luckily, we got it on replay, and we'll get to watch it all over again.
Yeah, I saw that this caution had happened as it was coming out, and I wasn't exactly sure why. And then I saw, it's because we lost that hood.
That orange underside, and nobody hit it.
Yeah, watch out, Clint McCown.
That's wild. All right, from Snyder, off the corner. Well, what am I going to do now? Probably take the money. Probably take the money I would have bought on driving gloves and replace the hood.
Yeah, you beat me to it, Caleb. You beat me to it. You beat me to it.
I'm in mid-season form already. It's only 2 weeks.
Yeah, I gotta, I gotta hit the cages after this.
Good job by the camera crew catching that from all the multiple angles that they did. And all right, so Snyder, no hood. Boy, if he's got a lucky rabbit's foot or something, I don't know what it is, but he's still got his spot.
Yeah, but hanging. I just whatever. I don't know. We got a lap in. Maybe that's the justification there.
I will fully admit to you. Have I read through the entirety of the race procedure rules and such like that?
Absolutely not.
I absolutely have not. But
it's sitting right underneath your basic arithmetic book. It's got a couple of coffee mugs sitting on top.
Lyndon Smith is not going to let this opportunity pass him by as he drives all the way right around and. Yeah, not wasting any time. He is by Snyder. Snyder, who had that front-on collision and now is, I don't know how much aero that's really going to make a difference of.
Good job, Absher, saving that one, keeping us green. But right now, looks
dropping.
Dropping for sure. Brave to the outside of Snyder. He's going to clear him. Zach Bristol might look to fall through. Look at how fast the 221 is, Caleb. He has gotten up and checked out. Here comes the reigning champ, Cole Raren in the one car. Been kind of maybe slumbering most of this night. I keep saying we're only 12 laps into this event.
Yeah, we still got
There's
time.
So much race to go. And let's go on board with the champ, Cole Raren. And he has been so busy. Dr. Honda has had a hand on every single car in this field that runs that Honda power unit or runs that type of car and style, and he's been so busy this offseason, he was telling me.
Here's the problem for him, and he's also helping out in the Szymanski car, getting that thing
Scarlett's car,
exactly.
Matt's car.
He's doing the good guy thing. He's the champion. He's passing down some of his knowledge and helping build the division. That's an awesome thing. He's got half the race left, but he's got to get around Smith, Brave, and Bristol. Not just get around them, run them down and catch him. Now, halfway through, is he making his first bid on Bristol? Yes, but this is a really tall task, and we're going to see where Raren is early in the season right now.
Yeah, the tallest one of those tasks, honestly, right now looks to be the 221. Look at that gap back to Justin Brave. He's almost a full corner ahead of these cars behind him, and to be honest with you, there was a slight tweak in the rules package this year that looked at maybe evening the playing field here with the Hondas to the Mustangs to the Volkswagens, and so right now Cole not quite, still looks rapid and fast, but hasn't quite immediately gone and driven around Bristol. Kind of just been hanging with him here for multiple laps.
Bristol is doing a good job keeping him about a car length back as we got one around in the middle of the racetrack. That's Rasmussen's 92. So bring them back all in and together as the yellow flag is out, and we'll get a look as JD shakes his head there in the flag stand. We'll get a look at how Ashley went around in that car.
Yeah, look, here's the camera angle on the backstretch, the 92. No telestrator on this one because we don't have it. So. Yet.
We have more replays.
That's true. Sorry. We'll go on board with Rasmussen.
Interesting viewpoint in the corner there. You can see the drink bottle just popping out in the right spot.
Now this is a second on board, and looks like just the rear end.
Stepping out and around,
yep,
and through. All right, so Rasmussen spins. Field now is going to be bunched back together. That's not saying that Lyndon can't get out and try to rabbit once again. However, everybody's going to get start right up on his back bumper.
That's true, but Lyndon will have the inside this time, Caleb, not have to work on the outside. He'll have Justin Brave to the outside. Bristol behind him. Raridan will restart fourth, and then Matt Snyder, Paisley, Bender the row behind them. So 14 to go, just under halfway, and the lights are out on the Speedway Chevrolet pace car, and we're gonna get set to rolling if we feel like it.
Well, if Don pulls off at some point in time, right?
Yeah.
He might think he's leading this race.
I heard that he was still clamoring about how the Dodger season was over.
And it is.
It is, unfortunate.
Yeah, season's over, Don. Sorry. Here we come. Linden and Brave back at her. Smith from the inside. Brave up and on the outside. Ooh, that outside lane is creeping just a bit, but Smith surges back ahead and into the lead.
And Zach Bristol going to use that inside line to his advantage. Get a nose out in front of Justin Brave. Brave's going to look to fight him back down to the inside. Side by side, they'll roll. Cole Raren going to look to make, he jumps down low, going to look to fall through. They might try to hang Justin Brave out to the outside if the J21 can't get down.
That is a textbook if you're the trail car in that position. Brave strung along the outside. Bristol punches the hole. Rarian just got to follow him through, and he'll step right through just like that. So Rarian taking advantage. Bristol making a good move to get to second, and the top three looks a little bit different. Smith, Bristol, and now Rarian 1, 2, and 3 with 12 to go.
Yeah, on board with Matt Snyder now. Good run for him. Top 5 currently after losing the hood and potentially the radiator and not sure what else in the aero of that front, but right now, look at the gap. Lyndon Smith up and gone. Cole Rarian to the inside of Bristol, not going to be able to make it move. The 97 jumps down low, shuts the door. Second, third, fourth, probably the best battle on track right now, Caleb.
Rarian's got to be careful, too. If he's going to make a move on Bristol, he's got to remember Brave is still there. I mean, close enough to be within a car length of him, and he did circle up and close on him at the apex of 1 and 2. See, Brave is not done. Rarian now to the middle.
Yeah.
What's he got to work on Bristol down the back chute?
Yeah, jumped up a partial groove, maybe looking to carry a tad bit more speed into the turn here and maybe try to diamond that corner off through 3 and 4 a little bit. We know how fast the Hondas are in a straight line, but we know how well those Scirocco's and the V-Dubs can handle in the turns, and they're all, look at them, dipping toes, dipping tires underneath the white line and some of that rough grass and concrete over there, and looks like driving on. Lyndon Smith putting a car a lap down and 8 to go so far right now.
You also know Bristol, the former NASCAR regional champion, is not going to make the big boo-boo. He's as technically solid as it gets. Sitting in the second spot, I think that's Rasmussen that they're coming up on. You're right. They've got to get underneath Ashley. Bristol will do so. Maybe he can use her as a pick for a second.
That's going to create some gap for Justin Brave, so if Cole Raren maybe wants to get a bit more adventurous with the move, now he's got a good shot.
Down the back straightaway. We need to say thank you to Nelson Motorsports in Snohomish, offering a full-service sales and repair shop. Great prices on ATVs, quads, go-karts, motocross, bikes, scooters, golf carts, and more. Make Nelson Motorsports your one-stop center for motorized ATV fun. Nelson Motorsports, proud sponsor of our Youth Hornet division here at Evergreen Speedway.
Here we go, the best battle on track. Second, third, and fourth. The 221 all but checked out with 5 to go here. We're watching this here. Can Cole Rarian find a way around the 97? He'll only have 5 more laps to get to that car. And I don't know, Caleb, does that car look slow?
Leader off the pace of the 221, Lyndon Smith. Something sour on his race car, and that stops a good run for him. Tough break.
Well, this changes everything now as these drivers are going to get a chance to throw haymakers at each other. Cole Rarian and Zach Bristol, it's going to be a 4-lap shootout to the end. Can Rarian get back to Bristol? Brave dropped off the field a little bit when they were going through lap traffic. We got a car around in turn 1. We got a caution.
Oh, let's bunch them up and do it side by side again as it is Rasmussen around in the corner. And a yellow flag and a rapidly changing complexion of this race, Ben.
Wow.
As she's around, and now Bristol. And boy, you know, Zach had worked so hard as we're going to get the look over to the corner of what happened again. Zach had done such a good job of keeping Rarian back of him. Now, Rarian's going to get, and I got to do the quick math here, 8 feet worth of track position thereabout. You know, wheelbases on these cars anywhere from the, I want to say mid-90s to mid-hundreds in terms of wheelbase, like 95 to 105, depending on the car. So quick math, you know, that's about 8 feet of free track space now that Rarian gets to make up on Bristol and start side by side with him. It's a huge advantage for Cole.
Yeah, it will be a huge advantage for Cole. We've seen the fire-off speed of the Hondas and how fast that car can be from the jump. Matt Snyder's going to have a chance to get back up on the podium, too, here with where he'll restart. It'll be Paisley Bender restarting behind them, and that'll be your top 5 here. But, man, the pace car, lights are out. He's going to take the left-hander and pull back in, and Here we go.
Bristol needs a monster restart here, and he would be aided too if Brave is right on his bumper and they string Raren out in that high side for a little bit. Now, we saw him experiment up there, saw him give it a shot, see if he can hang.
Go, no, Brave drops off the pad a little bit, but he's going to dive back down low, side by side, all the way through the quarter. Well, look at the fire-off speed of the 97, though, but here's where the one's going to make its money down the back straight.
If Raren can get through this corner and stay about even, and Bristol took a wide exit there, he's giving him a lane, but he's making him think about it. Zach Bristol reaching into the bag of tricks, trying to make Raren work even harder.
And the one car just slid up the track there in the apex of the turn, going to have to drop behind. Here's Justin Brave coming screaming into the picture, 3 to go. Raren's going to have to really try to pick and choose a lane now. Will he get the bumper out?
Oh, look at that. Raren diamond the corner off that time, trying to sneak some tires underneath him, trying to beat him to the bottom of turn 3 again. Your defending champion, sneaky up on Bristol. Bristol's seen it before, but there's the bid for the lead into one.
Oh, and Bristol's going to look to shut the door, slamming it shut on the back of the one. Cole Raren has to drop out of it. Now, going to run down the back straightaway. This may be a preview of the title fight to come this year between some of these fast cars. Off turn 4, it'll be white flag in the air, 1 to go. Does Raren have a move into turn 1?
Door slammed once again by Bristol. Both the drivers have got their dukes up. Down the back straightaway and into 3. Through the corner and into the turn, coming out of it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is clobbering time for Zach Bristol and roll into the main event win.
Hand out the window as he's coming to the line. Zach Bristol, that with a heavyweight bout like Mayweather and Tyson going back and back. Those two just left it all out there. Clean, hard race into the end. Zach Bristol gets the best of it today.
And hey, give it up for Raren. A good run up the pack, and he raced him clean the whole way there. I don't think you're going to find a lick of orange paint on the Raren machine. What a good battle between them. We need to celebrate with these drivers, but we'll take a commercial break first. More coming up next here on Hometrack Heroes on Seattle 11.
All right, I'm going to try to climb up here somewhere. Zach, there was 6 to go, and you and Cole were duking it out for a second. Lyndon seconds in front of you, but something going wrong with the 221 left it in your hands, and then you were going to have like a 7-lap scrap to the finish, and then a caution comes out, and you have to restart right next to Cole. Early contender for race of the year already, but it's win number 2 for you here at the Super Speedway of the West in a mini stock. Win number 3 overall. Just walk me through what you're feeling.
Oh, this is awesome. I mean, we won last year in the pouring down rain, and I'm pretty good in the rain. And, that little VW is so small, cylinder powered, but, like, it was working tonight. Definitely was 100%. It got really tight. That's kind of, I was trying to hold off Cole and just as much as I could. Thank you to those two guys. They are 2 of the cleanest guys I run out here. Look at my mirror. I know I can trust them not to do anything stupid. I mean, Cole had a couple runs and could have popped me in the left rear, but he didn't take it, and I appreciate that so much. But, yeah, this is awesome. First race out, winning. Can't beat this.
We talk about how sometimes you lack the power that some of the other cars have in the field, but tonight it sure didn't seem like it from the tower. It seemed like that 97 was flying around the track. You know, the off-season, you guys obviously did well and won the Fall Classic, so ended on a win. Now the off-season, now you guys are here. You're starting back on the top step of the podium. What is the season looking like now for you?
Season's looking pretty good. We were uncertain at the moment because a little bit of rule changes, whatnot. I was kind of curious to see how the Hondas would do. And it looks like it's really made it even. I mean, Lyndon was just on rails all night. I felt bad for him for breaking out there. He's worked his butt off all winter to have a great car. But, yeah, we'll just keep going. We're going to show up every single race, see if we can win this championship, add another one to the mantle, and we'll see where we end up.
Who helps you get the car out here, Zach?
Nat and Amy Barber for letting me run their car yet again for the second year in a row. Nat travels over from Tri-Cities every single week for our races to keep an eye on us. FTG boys, Dane, Gator for getting that car really good to go for tonight. D2 Foundations, Dane's job. Hibbs Automotive, Racers Against Child Abuse. Thank you all the fans for coming out and hopefully put on a good show for you.
Your race winner, Zach Bristol. Cole, you started the race further back in the pack with the invert, and it felt like it almost took a little bit to kind of find some clean air and get going. But once you did, the car looked fast as ever. late race caution. You're restarting the outside of Zach. Just walk me through what's going through your mind with 6 to go.
Oh, Zach had a really good car tonight. My car was really good. I probably overcooked the tires a little bit, but I just wanted to give him a good, clean, hard race, and that's what I did. So, I came out on the radio and was like, I'm going to give him a run for his money on the outside because I knew he wasn't going to let me have the inside. So it was super fun, clean race. Awesome.
The one car comes out strong with a lot of the Hondas, all of them looking strong. The year, you and the group, just walk me through how was the off season treating you, and now to come back up, start the season up on the podium again.
Oh man, the off season was busy on everybody else's car. I mean, we had to do a little bit to mine, but not as much as everybody else's. It's unfortunate for Jacob. He's having motor problems the first night out, but that's a good looking car, and he'll be back strong next race. And Scarlett finishing the race, that's awesome. That was a new build. Jimmy, is his car in one piece still? I didn't see.
It did look like it was in one piece. And who do you want to thank for helping you get your car out here?
Bob T. Builder, Royce Tanner Racing, NPM Welding and Fabrication, Full Throttle Graphics, Finish Line Drafting Design. I got to thank Rich Tune. I got to thank TransLab. BECU, still the class sponsor. Got to thank them. Thanks Evergreen Speedway. Thanks for all the fans. Going for another championship. Here we go.
Cole Raren, second place tonight in the BECU Mini Stock main event. Justin, you had a very fast race car. It was the three of you. I mean, Lyndon seemed like had something for everyone, but once he had his issues and was forced to pull off, it was the three of you kind of towards the end. 2025 was maybe not, you didn't get quite out as much as you were maybe hoping, but you start 2026 up on the podium. How's that got to make you feel?
It's so special. It's so I'm so grateful. Yeah, 2025 was really rough, but this is a great way to start off 2026. It feels great to be back up here. Sucks about Lyndon. Lyndon's a great guy. He was super fast tonight, but me, Zach, and Cole are having a hell of a time together, having a lot of fun. Super grateful for those guys. They're super fast, super competitive, but just great drivers to be against.
Yeah, really good start for you guys. 2026 starting off with the podium. What are you hoping you'll be able to accomplish with this season?
Have as much fun as possible and try to be back up here as much as possible.
And who helps you get the car out here?
Of course, my parents, loving mom and dad. Bow Wow, Central Welding, Eden Gate Farm, Craig Rhodes Race Shop, Ben for building a great motor, and just all friends and family for all their love and support.
Third place tonight, Justin Brave.
Well, it's quite a celebration on the podium. Congratulations, Zach Bristol. Great run, great mini stock main event to start your year off, right? Let's go on. It's the biggest boys with the baddest toys. Coming up, it's the Roadrunner Express Wash Outlaw Figure 8A main event, and it's Battle of the Siblings up in the front row. Dakota Wilkinson in the 9 at Lake Stevens, Tony V's Garage, and Haley Wilkinson, the 35 at Lake Stevens, sponsored by Cobalt Cycles, make up row number 1. In the second row, the Brundage Bone Concrete Pumping number 83 of Zach Larson out of Kent, and to his outside, it's your Hout Screen 767, Jamie Corbett from Arlington.
Seth Funden returns in the 40 machine out of Stanwood, sponsored by Outlaw Fuel Injection. Starting next to another champion, taking the 1, Ryan Clark out of Granite Falls in the Action Machine. Ricky Dietz is in the 676 out of Arlington. And Derek Myers in the 73 out of Monroe, sponsored by BECU, our lone rookie in the field.
It is Jessica Wilkinson, JE55, Snohomish, Washington, Pilchuck Heating and Air Conditioning. Making up the lineup, they'll go 30 times around. And again, the sibling battle up in the front row. This one should be fun to get us all started off with.
It is a pair of siblings on the front row, Jamie Corbett and the caddy daddy, Zach Larson, on row number 2. And I'm sure we're going to get something good here on the jump as they'll come back to the North Pole.
Around for the left-hand turn. Let's see what the Outlaws have to bring tonight. So we're up and underway. Green flag is out.
Yeah, we lost a couple of cars after practice, too. So the field down on car count after who rolled in tonight. So
who did roll in that didn't end up making the call?
Nick Holton had lost power steering after practice and was not able to get the car because it's just been if you want to talk about people with bad luck right now, the driver of the 71 and that whole team really struggling with it. We lost John Carlson. Cowboy was having to run double duty in the super stock figure 8 in this division. His Outlaw was not quite ready after he had motor troubles during a practice day, and he was involved in a wreck up there, and the super stock race lost him.
I know Chris Curtis's car almost done, close to done. We'll see him soon.
Yep. I've heard rumblings of potentially an all-star car coming out of the car that has been piloted by James Conley. Might host a couple of fun
celebrity drivers, right?
Yeah, celebrity drivers.
And I know Bruce Beeler is getting his back together. We'll see that one against again. Should see Don Eslick more often than not again this year as well, as he's got one going together.
Yep,
so.
and there's a few more beyond that too. I know the Wilkinson crew have a 4th car.
Doug's got his, right?
Yep.
That he'll bring out when he feels like it.
Yep, and then the question about, we didn't see much of Richard Shainbrook last year. What that car is up to, that's out in the wild somewhere. So lots more cars that we could see start to funnel in this year. And so, the Outlaws, they are the big, loud machines. They look like alien creatures when they roll around this track, and they are fast and they are mean.
Now, I know we lost one, and I'm trying to remember. Richard Jones bought an Outlaw and was converting it to a Super. Was that the Shainbrook car that he bought?
No, but he bought that one from back in Indy.
Oh, okay. All right. Gotcha.
So that was not a local Outlaw, so we're good there. Dakota Wilkinson leads from Zach Larson, Seth Fund, and Ryan Clark. 4 cars up towards the front, and Dakota is a lot of accomplishments between a couple of younger drivers and a couple of more seasoned drivers. Ryan Clark, a champion, a couple of big-time crown jewel wins. Dakota's got a crown jewel win under his belt. And then Zach Larson, Seth Funded, championships and crown jewel wins in their own rights. But so a little bit of youth versus experience here.
They are just stacked up like a row of thin lemon Oreos coming in and through. Best Oreo, by the way, no debate on that one. Wilkinson, Larson, Funden, 1, 2, and 3 with Clark. Again, taking the 1. Champions get the 1 if they so want. I love that.
There is a little 5 on there next to the 1 because he was the 51 prior. So he's got a little bit, but you can't tell it from the team perspective. He is just the 1. He's going to go as the 1.
Intersection getting a little bit busy there, as you see. Wilkinson now having to either pedal it or gas it, depending on what he wants to go through.
Ooh.
Ricky Dietz following around. You can see the in-car there as they'll clear the 73 of Myers, the rookie in the division, and push around and make their way in and past Jessica Wilkinson.
Yeah, making the step up from Stinger 8 Racing, Derek Myers, a 5th, maybe even 6th NBQ chassis and entry into this field now with, or maybe 5. I think 5's the right number as well.
And it's not, and again, a lot of home-built parts on these. I work at a race car parts store, and obviously there is stuff that you can put onto these Outlaw Figure 8s, but there's a lot of fabrication, a lot of self-work that goes onto this. If you know a welder, a bender, a notcher, etc., you're in pretty good shape in this class because there isn't a lot of conventional race car parts that fit onto these Outlaws.
No, they are unique, and there are very few like them. There's only a handful of tracks that you can see cars like this even racing. Evergreen Speedway is one of the ones that you get to see them fairly regularly.
From the cockpit of your reigning champion, Ryan Clark.
Ryak Clark.
With the beautiful digital gauges sitting in there, making it a little bit easier to see what he's running for water temperature, oil pressure, your 2 typical gauges that you have lit up in there. And you can see the gauge on the left-hand side that goes from a red to a blue. As long as that's in the blue range on that ring that's around it, you're good. If it drops down to the red, everything starts blinking and you've got trouble.
Yeah, so
and that's when you know to lift and shut the car off.
Ryan is trying to find a way around. This is what makes, I think, the Evergreen Figure 8 track so unique. It is tight. It is bull ring comparison for Figure 8 tracks, and the grooves are so hard to move around. It can be hard to sometimes get a car unsettled, and that's where Dakota Wilkinson has led pole to pole right now so far with 13 to go, V12 at the line, and just Larson has not been able to really get to him.
part of the reason you see some physicality in this division on a regular basis. Well, we've got to thank Roadrunner Express Car Wash for absolutely the best car wash ever. Treat your favorite ride to the professionals at Roadrunner Express Wash in Monroe. Roadrunner Express Wash has multiple wash packages for budget and every type of car, truck, or van. Manage your account easily on the go. Download the Roadrunner Express Wash app from the App Store or Google Play today.
Took the Evergreen Speedway pace car over to Roadrunner the other day and got it all cleaned up.
Squeaky clean. Well, it's a nice place for Don Fairley to take a nap on race nights. We got to have it looking good.
You got to see how he leaves it.
How many? Never mind. Dakota Wilkinson, Zach Larson, Seth Funden still sitting 1, 2, and 3. The sardines stacked in the can, and you can see Larson is wiggling the car high, wiggling the car low. Hasn't used the front bumper. Might be getting about that point, though, as we're in the single digits.
There we go. Now we're starting to kind of figure it out. Zach driving this 83 Cadillac around this track. Most drivers opt for a Chevy or a Ford. No, he's driving a Cadillac, and so he put in the luxury Outlaw, I think you could say, maybe out there.
Nice.
Yeah, I know.
Power windows, power locks, the whole package.
Whole thing, rear view mirror.
On the way through the corner. Whoa. Look out, that's Myers who goes around. Derek Myers with a spin out up in the North Pole or the left-hand portion of the corner. Race leader getting a whole lot of front bumper from Zach Larson.
It's not enough, not able to really unsettle him. Dakota stayed well planted through that contact.
And now Dakota's going to have to lap sister if he wants to keep holding on to this, as that is Haley right in front of him. So Wilkinson faced with decision-making mode here as they get to lap traffic. What's he going to do with slower cars?
Gonna maybe look to the outside, or no, just a little, just kind of gets out of gas and caution. That's what it was.
Aha! 73 of Myers around once again, and there might have been another one involved with him. We'll find out. We got a couple of looks at it. So to the looks we go, and there's Ricky Dietz right in behind on Myers at the gap, and
yep,
help was given. However, hard to say if anybody is to blame there, as Ricky is almost up to the middle of the door, and you darn near say he had the lane.
Yeah,
darn near.
Tough one, tough incident there.
So, Dietz back on the gas. We are going to commercial. We'll finish out the Outlaw Figure 8 main event when we come back here on Hometrack Heroes on Seattle 11. Well, after the caution flag for Derek Myers, the field is stacked up and might be your best chance to see some passing here in this A-main event. They've got 6 laps to go here on Hometrack Heroes on Seattle 11. It is the Outlaw Figure 8 division, the Roadrunner Car Wash Outlaw Figure 8s. I'm Caleb Hart. He's Ben Iman, Ben, Dakota Wilkinson, Funden, and Larson right in behind him, looking to take advantage here in this restart as we go green.
Yeah, Delaware-style restart. Dakota will close off the gap, and Funden and Larson, both of them kind of really spun the tires there. Not really great movement. They'll go side by side now. And this might open the door for Ryan Clark if he can get there. Looking to get the nose to the inside. Clark trying to get up onto the podium and be the only NBQ car up towards the front right now if he can get up there. And no, not able to clear Funden. Seth shuts the door.
So Funden holding on to that top 3 spot at the moment. Larson tucked in once again. We had seen Larson getting aggressive with the front bumper in the later stages before we got to caution. He's giving Dakota a little bit of room right now, but you know if he can close in, he might try it one more time.
Absolutely. He will get that big chrome horn out and use it if he has to here. It looks like Ryan Clark trying, maybe using one of his 2 nicknames a little bit with Funden, really kind of laying it on thick there and trying to get that 40 car unsettled. Has been unable to do so with 3 to go.
And a good job by Funden not getting rattled by the contact being given by Clark, because again, the bumps are expected here in this division. It's short, it's tight, they just inevitably will get physical. It's how you react to them that really matters when you're the car getting thumped on.
Exactly, Larson. And these two have opened up a really large gap back to Funden and Clark. So it's going to be Zach Larson if he can get to Dakota Wilkinson. And he's the only one that can get to Dakota Wilkinson right now. It's only going to be 1 lap to go. White flag is going to be out this next time by.
Wilkinson looking to go wire to wire here on opening night for the feature win. He has got 1 more intersection pass to make. And a left-hand set of corners. Intersection is easy. Left-hand turn follow like he has done it before. Dakota Wilkinson takes the wire-to-wire win. All 30 laps go to him. Larson and Funden second and third.
Ryan Clark, your first car off on the podium, finishes in fourth. A tight battle between those four up front for most of the race, and a cloud of smoke for Dakota Wilkinson to appear, your race winner. Starting out 2026, I'm sure how he's real happy running that throwback number 9.
Car looks good. Driver pretty proficient here in the opening race for them of the season. And let's go get their thoughts on the Angel of the Winds Casino Resort Podium.
Dakota, wire to wire, you let them all. It wasn't easy, sure. You had Zach Larson peeking down your rear the whole race, but walk me through, once you got to the lead, you didn't give it back.
Well, those two right behind me are one of the best drivers in this class. It was really hard to hold them behind me. I was honestly grateful for that caution. Let them battle it out with each other. Helped me get enough breathing room that I needed.
Yeah, the Delaware-style restart lets you restart up on the own, and you were able to hold it on. You know, it's never easy. You know, the intersection can change the race in a heartbeat, but we're able to hang on and get this one. How does this feel to start your 2026 off with a win?
It feels so good. I'm excited to start it off with this big win. Hopefully we can keep it going.
And who do you want to thank specifically for helping you get this car out here?
All right, I'm going to have to look over here. I'd like to thank Tony V's Garage, A Wesco, Septic, Pacific Northwest Forerunner, Pilchuck Heating and Air, Uncle Pat, Pedal Down Bike Shop, Lynette, Realtors, Lynette Gam Realtors.
All right, we'll give it up. Dakota Wilkinson, your opening night race winner. All right, Zach, late race restart there. You had you and Seth on the, starting behind Dakota. It looked like you were throwing the kitchen sink at the 9, just couldn't quite get him. What more do you think you needed?
Just more time and more traffic. We were just coming up on some before the caution there I was getting excited about, but caution came out, and then it was just kind of hold your position with the 40 starting on the inside of you.
Well, it was a complete rebuild for you this offseason. New car from the ground up after last year's 60 Minutes of Fear. To start second's got to feel pretty good with that.
Yeah, definitely a better start to this year than last year, and hopefully we can build on and keep going.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get out here?
I got to thank the car owner, Paul Peterson, Joe Speed Shop. I got to thank Brunchbone Concrete Pumping, PRCBD, and I think that's it.
All right, Zach Larson taking the Cadillac to second place tonight. All right, Seth, same thing, 6 to go. Restart came out. You and Zach battling it out. Just a tough race with all of you up there. Ryan Clark right behind you in the bumper. I know he gave you a couple good shots there. You're able to hang on. Talk about when you're racing with fast cars up there towards the end. What's going through your head?
Just trying to get up front, but, Dakota, he did a good job tonight. And, side by side with Zach there, he knows me all too well. He knows my little tricks that I do, so he wasn't going to give it to me, so I kind of stuck there. So
having to defend, it was a tough one there. Most of the race ran green. The traffic kind of dispersed out. When that race happens, are you looking for different ways to try to get around drivers?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That with these big tires now, we're able to race in 2 groups, which I really like a lot. A couple years ago, I ran here, and we ran on the small tire, and we were just train racing the whole time. So us being on these big tires is a big thing. We're going to see a lot of side-by-side racing this year.
And who do you want to thank for helping you get out here?
Air Pros Energy and MGM Flooring and Interiors up in Stanwood.
All right, Seth Funden returns up onto the podium at Evergreen Speedway.
Little kids with trophies on podiums are fun.
Awesome.
I
Love
enjoy
it
that
every time.
All right, we got 1 to go. We're not done with figure eights tonight.
we got one more.
Because here comes the World Championship of Figure 8 Bus Racing. 4 drivers out ready for round 1 of the Figure 8 buses here.
It's like spring training for buses.
Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Chad Capps pilots the 007 Take No Prisoners bus. He'll start next to the Struggle bus, piloted by the 45 of Jake Reppin. Your 2 buses in the back, the 25 is April Kittleson, and next to the 18, the undisputed world champion of bus racing, Jeff Raren.
Okay, 4 buses. You're nearly guaranteed a podium here in bus racing.
It's true.
Nearly.
It's true.
As we are 1 corner away from our first bus race green flag here of the year.
This race also could be considered whose bus is it anyway?
Okay.
Oh, we got a special.
In so much as that the rules are made up and the points don't matter.
Exactly.
Hey, all right, I like it.
Thank you.
And celebrity flagger, little kid once
again. Exactly. Antonio.
Antonio.
Yes.
You got a first name.
I do.
You did your research.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Proud.
That's Steve.
Green flag out.
Well, Ritter still has the caution lights on the bus, as if he was making a stop to pick up your son or daughter to take them to school next week.
You think maybe it's strategy?
Maybe.
Maybe he's trying to confuse the new bus racers that are out here with us in Kittleson and Caps, and that, if he's at the yellow lights on, maybe we should just proceed with cautioning. Go slow.
See, Reppin's doing it too, so I think they're onto something. It's like when the student section starts shouting out the shot clock like a few seconds before it's actually about to hit the
try
buzzer.
to get him to pop the shot just a little bit early.
Just a little bit early. Yeah, exactly. It's like that. Although the Caps bus has some lights on underneath it that are green, so maybe that's a signal that he knows that we're green flag racing.
That's false logic, though. Because if they chant the shot clock early and they think it, then they're always going to get it off before the shot clock actually goes.
That's true.
Right?
Maybe.
Kids are silly.
Kids are silly, but that's okay. Well, right now it is the struggle bus. Maybe it's his bus advantage. The advantage being that the bus is much smaller and probably corners a lot better. Also, it helps that he has an Ilmore engine in the front of that thing.
I like the fact that our Evergreen Speedway officials have picked up on our bus racing nicknames and have put them into the ticker.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Well, yeah, we're working on getting them all ironed out beforehand every race, so we'll get them all. But, yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah. See, bus racing champion, Jeff Ritter sitting there in second. Vic Brothers Racing Bus, the 25, but that is not Jalen because that thing hasn't flipped.
That's true. Right now,
Tonight.
It's April Kittison right now in the hot seat. We weren't sure exactly who it was, I think, probably when entering. We took a shot because it looks kind of flippy in practice.
Well, and fixing computers on the fly is not a fun.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. So I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Hometrack Heroes is made on an Apple Mac too.
Really?
Yep.
That's like a 45-year-old computer at this point, right?
Pretty impressive, am I right?
I'll bet you it runs Oregon Trail really well.
Oh, dude, but unfortunately our editor got dysentery.
These bus drivers, thankfully, no dysentery amongst them, as they would have to be taking frequent stops, and you haven't seen the stop signs come out on the sides of the bus yet. A little physicality going on here is, look out, intersection! Jake Reppin had a chance to do something epic and decided he didn't want to fix the bus during the off week.
I don't blame him about there. Reppin, experienced figure 8 driver in his own right, now taken to bus, and he said Outlaws, and everything else I've driven through the 8, not enough for me. I need a bus.
Kittleson is getting leaned on something serious here by Ritter, and if anybody would know how to lean on a fellow bus without completely turning them, it would be Ritter, who has got 17,000 figure 8 bus laps. He's been out here for nearly everyone.
It's true. I heard that Dave was painting the lines the other day, and he was already turning 8s and just getting ready. And I mean, that's what happens when you have 212 all-time career wins.
Look at it. Yeah, buddy, get it sideways. I do like the shark on the front of the Vic Brothers bus, so that looks good.
He is the Richard Petty of bus racing. So, I mean,
all right.
You
sure you don't want to go with someone like a Herschel McGriff who raced all the way into his 90s?
He could
races into his 90s.
Sure. He could be the Herschel McGriff of bus racing. Watch out, Reppin!
We got a pass for second as Ritter gets by Kittleson finally. 7 to go.
That was a good move. Reppin had to take some evasive bus mover. As here we go, Reppin splitting the D.
The shorter bus plays into effect here.
Yeah, it's got to either be an advantage somewhere. That's what they keep telling me.
It's more maneuverable, and you're not hanging as much bus out in the intersection to get tagged.
No, so, Reppin able to float like a busser sting like a bee.
You're stretching.
Yeah, I was.
Well, we still got 6 to go.
It sounded better in my head.
Well, the fight references were in the previous segment, right?
Yeah,
all the boxing references were in the mini stock race.
That's true. I should have left the boxing there.
That's all right.
Sometimes I didn't know when to hang the mitts up.
Well, that too, and last time Ali competed, who's the one who was famous for that saying, was now 50 years ago.
Yeah.
About.
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
I'm sure there's people watching this at home who are not happy you're saying that.
Who the heck said? Who's Ali?
Yeah, that's true. That's the other response. Oh, Jeff Ritter.
Yeah, look up your sports history, guys.
Yeah.
4 to go.
Yeah, that was a quick evasive maneuver from Ritter and from Reppin.
Well, I'll tell you what, while you watch these buses, and hey, if you want a fun to figure 8 bus, Coastal Community Bank. Coastal Community Bank, community is a middle name. The Coastal Bank staff takes time to understand your business and help move it forward. Coastal Community Bank has multiple locations throughout the region to handle every banking need. Details at coastalbank.com. Proud track sponsor for 15 years here at Evergreen Speedway.
I think the Ritter buses must have knocked some of the toe out or got the stagger wrong on it, because that thing is cornering like a bus through these turns. It is just not. It's not. See, the Caps bus is like hanging the corner. The Ritter bus is really having to motor around these corners. You know, the Ilmorm engine not making up the difference right now.
That's not going to be the thing for that, is it?
No, does it have an Ilmor in it? Is that what you're asking me? Yes, because then yes, it does.
I wonder if, just to torture the drivers at some point in time, we should make them play audio in the bus, and it would be the wheels of the bus go round and round on loop throughout the race.
Into school's out for summer.
Hey, that would work. It was spring break. So,
yes,
yeah.
Correct. And so these buses will be back in service Monday morning. Don't worry.
Hopefully.
White flag is out.
1 to go. Jeff Reppin looking to give himself the best off-season into beginning the season present he could with a bus racing win on night number 1.
You know, and you know what the other present he's receiving is that both the Superstock Figure 8 and the bus are going up in the trailer unscathed at the end of the night.
It's a big trailer.
It is quite a large trailer.
Checkered flag coming out, and Reppin wins. Nice job there. Ritter has got a little work to do still, as he has one full intersection pass, and now Ritter has nothing. I mean, I say Reppin has nothing to lose. If he wanted to go and take out Ritter just for fun, he could.
I think we might have lost. Oh, no, there's the Big Brother bus. Oh, Cap's giving him a run for the money.
Lean.
Coming to the line.
Lean on
Here
him.
Here they come.
Yeah.
Screaming out.
High groove
man.
was not the groove to take.
No, it was not. It's Chad Caps at the line who gets Jeff Ritter, but Jake Reppin, crew chief of the year, and now piloting a bus to victory lane.
He's 1 for 1 in bus racing this year. The undefeated Jeff Reppin, in fact.
That's right. Reppin's going to be very excited. Jake's going to bring this thing up, and we'll catch up with Jake and the rest of the top 3 of the Angel That Wins Casino Resort Podium.
All right, Jake. The struggle bus was not struggle tonight. Looked on rails. I like to say I did that for you, during the fair. How was it tonight?
Oh, it was great. It'd be nice to have some more buses out here, but, the object of the struggle bus is just hold your foot to the floor.
That's what you told me. Second year wide open, and, man, yeah, we need more buses, but you guys still put on a show. You still get the thrill from it?
Oh, yeah, these buses out here, it's, we're out here trying to make close calls and, just the excitement of these, 30-foot plus long buses. You're trying not to let off the throttle and, you're trying to use up the track, but, there are times out there where they're close, kind of make you pucker.
And I know you got sponsors, people to help you out. Who gets you out here?
Oh, first off, I'd like to thank Evergreen Speedway for giving us the opportunity to run these buses out here, and it's great. And kind of a plug for my own shop, Reppin Welding and Rail. We provide the steel, and we also help a lot of other racers out here.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner tonight at Outlaw School Bus Figure 8's Jake Reppin. All right, second place tonight at double 7 Chad Caps. Chad, not very many buses, but you guys still had a show. How much fun was it out there?
Oh, man, it was a blast. It was a great time. Struggle bus was just killing it out there, but I was able to pull through at the last second, and it was a good time. Had a great time.
So any other cars you want to run out here at the Super Speedway of the West?
What's that?
Any other cars you want to run out here?
I'm going to be doing the Hornet and hopefully maybe in the Stingers as well. Look for a 007. It would be the same number.
Any sponsors?
Not yet.
All right, he's looking for sponsors. The 7 Chad Caps.
I got to thank Dave Iverson and the Bub Iverson Racing.
All right, Chad Caps, second place tonight. All right, Jeff, what a battle for third place at the end. How much fun was that?
That's a blast. Always have a great time out here. Thanks to all the fans for being here and enjoying the show with us.
Anyone that helps you out?
Evergreen Speedway helps me out. That's the bus.
The undisputed bus racing champion, third place tonight, Jeff Ritter.
Well, Ben, great to have you back on the show this week. 2 weeks into the Evergreen Speedway season here in 2026, and we're off to a rip-roaring start.
It is great to be back. I'm going to have to put some extra work in. I got to catch up to you, Caleb.
Well, I'll tell you what. You're going to have your chance to do that because on next week's show, DriftCon, It's the first DriftCon of the year. Big Bounty Tournament is going to hit. Now, as fun as it is watching here on Hometrack Heroes, it's nothing like being at Evergreen Speedway live. Next time you guys can do that in person. April 18th, Pro Late Models for round number 2. Hornets, Legends, Stinger 8s, and Street Stocks. All on the card. We hope you guys will choose to join it. There's nothing like Evergreen Speedway live. For Saxon Hop, for Ben Iman, the Hobbs is on production. My name is Caleb Hart. We will see you here next Sunday night. Once again, the home for Evergreen Speedway is Hometrack Heroes on Seattle 11. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Hometrack Heroes on Seattle 11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.